Okay, I'm trying again. Sorry about that, guys. I froze. The whole thing froze for some reason. So I'm going to give you a little time to come back and just start blithering again. Radar Unedited number 10, as I already said once before. No makeup, no fancy backgrounds, just me sitting at my Raiders desk in my Raiders chair, talking about whatever comes to mind and answering any questions. I'm hoping people will come on again because I had 4 viewers have a reaction. Yay, somebody's here. Um, and I was talking about the fact that my 20th anniversary as a published author was in August, and that party is now over, so I'm no longer wearing silly party hats, sadly. Kind of enjoyed my silly party hats. Maybe I'll have to do more party hats. I have to think of new reasons. Yes, I wear a tiara on release day, but not release day, so no tiara. Ah, Sharon's back. Hi, Sharon. Yay, you found me again. I hope everybody else finds me again, too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plunge ahead. Even though my 20th published anniversary is past, there's something I want to say again because you can never say this often enough, and that is thank you to you, my terrific readers, because without you, I would not have a 20th published anniversary. I would not have a career as a writer. You are the wind beneath my wings, literally. So yes, I so appreciate you buying my books, reading my books, reviewing my books, and sending me wonderful, supportive, enthusiastic messages and emails and comments. It all means so much to me because without you, the circle doesn't get closed. Obviously, I send my books out into the world, but you guys have to read them to bring the characters alive in your own minds. So you close the circle, and I just want to say again how very much I appreciate you, because I wouldn't be here without you. Wouldn't be able to support my writing habit without you, right? So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate it. Okay, Trisha. Hi, Trisha Ann. Nice to see you here. This is great. Got some new faces, got some familiar faces. So I am going to be talking about my consultant series this month because my publisher decided to put them on sale on Kindle. So all the consultants' books are on sale for $2.49 each. So that is The Money Man, The Hacker, and The Agent. Now I have to tell you, these may be my favorite covers of all my books. I just love the sort of, they have a little bit of an old-fashioned feel. They're sexy without being overtly so. I just think they're terrific. I was so excited. And I mean, the cover designer, The Money Man's the first book in the series. And the cover design is always a little nerve-wracking because I don't get to do it. I get to, fill out a long form saying what I would like the cover to be like, but ultimately the cover designer and the editor sort of decide on that. And so it's always a little nerve-wracking when the first set of cover designs comes back because you just never know what they're going to look like. And this was the first cover design, and I was just so thrilled because I thought it was fantastic. So I'm going to talk about The Money Man today. So first, I really wanted to show you this cute little necklace that my publisher sent me to celebrate The Money Man being published, but it is so tiny that I can't get the thing to focus on it. And inside it says small town meets high finance. I don't know if you can see it, but it's very cute. This is the cute little box that it came in. See, it looks like a book, and it says small town high finance meets high finance on the back too. So The Money Man, let me read you the description. New Jersey bookkeeper Alice Thurber has a carefully constructed, risk-free life. Everything in perfect balance. Until little discrepancies show up in her clients' accounts. Most would ignore it, not the impeccably precise Alice. In desperation, she reaches out to a high-powered consulting firm for help. New York City's movie star handsome financial wizard Derek Killian reaches back. All he has to do is smile and Alice's fantasy stir. A girl can dream, can't she? A co-founder of KRG, Derek's promise is to advise small business owners in trouble. He never guessed that assisting the diffident but sexy Alice would be so captivating and make it so hard to keep his desires in check. But just as intriguing is the alarming puzzle behind the computer glitch that's unsettled his client. As the investigation unfolds, they must also confront an attraction too palpable to ignore. Every new dark twist they follow is only bringing them closer together in passion and in danger. So that's the back cover blurb, which, by the way, I don't write. Most writers don't, who are published by publishers, don't get to write them. So, but I thought they did a good job, right? So the consultants are not only romances, but also have suspense in them. So that was, I added a little extra to that. And you know that Royal Kaleva Gabrielle also has suspense in it. So I went that way. And what I wanted to show you, because Alice in The Money Man is a Georgette Heyer fan and has all sorts of fantasies of Derek dressed in Regency clothing, was my Georgette Heyers. So my grandmother loved these books, and she would read them and then give them to me. And so this is probably really where I acquired my passion for romance, although I did start with Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice, you know, those sort of the classics. But I think Georgette Heyer is what really hooked me. So in The Money Man, Alice has two cats, and they're named for characters in Georgette Heyer books. One of them is named Audley, who is the Earl of Worth in Regency Buck, one of my favorites. And the other one is named Sylvester, the Duke of Salford. Sorry, I can't remember what he was Duke of. Duke of Salford from Sylvester or the Wicked Uncle, another one of my favorites. But I have to say, so I picked out my total favorites. Well, okay, I want to talk about the Corinthian because this is, I think, the first Georgette Heyer that I ever read. And it's a girl disguised as a boy trope, which I don't know why, just really appeals to me. Particularly when, let's see, Sir Richard Wyndham. Sir Richard Wyndham is the hero. When Sir Richard Wyndham kisses her in public, only she's wearing boys' clothes, and of course you can imagine how people question that a little bit, but it's a wonderful book, and this is what totally got me hooked. But then my favorites, my absolute favorites are, there's actually a third book in this series. The first book is These Old Shades with the Duke of Avon. The second book is Devil's Cub with the Marquis of Vidal. And then there's a third one which I didn't like as much, so I didn't bring that with me. But I loved these books. Great ones. Then Arabella, I used to love this one a lot. I think I like it a little less now. She's very young and very sort of naive and innocent, and although she has a lot of spunk, I don't know, there's something less appealing to me about this book than used to. Still good though. Frederica, one of my all-time favorites. It has a scene in it that literally makes me laugh out loud every time I read it, and I rarely laugh out loud at books, but so funny. Frederica. And then my absolute 100% favorite is Venetia, because she and Lord Damerel quote poetry to each other, and of course, being a former poet, this just really appealed to me. Also, Lord Damerel is, you know, he's a rake and he's incredibly hot and sexy, and oh my God. Now, I will say this, Georgette Heyer, the characters barely kiss. I mean, you maybe get one kiss in the whole book, sometimes two if you're lucky. So these are the old style Regency romances, and also slightly earlier than Regency romances, where it's all sexual tension. Frankly, I still love that. I still try to create that in my books. Although in my books, you also get the satisfaction of the love scenes, right? Because, I don't know, we like those. I like those. So, yes. So that's my collection of Georgette. There's just a few of my Georgette Heyer novels. I have a huge collection of them, actually. And then the other thing, when I was reading around looking for stuff about the Consultant series, I remembered that I had these coasters. They're these really nice drink coasters that have cork on the back, and I have I have one full set of them with all 3 books. And then I have 2 that only have 2 of the books because for some reason I didn't order as many of the Money Man, or I gave away more of them. Anyway, I'm going to give these away. So 3 sets. 2 of them are only going to be, one of them is a full set. 2 of them are only going to be sets of 2. Sorry about that. All you have to do, and I'm going to draw at the end of the month, right? Because they'll be on sale all month. And all you have to do is comment below and say coasters. And I will enter you in the drawing for them. All right, what else? Okay, so fun this week. I have 2 reader questions, which I'm very excited about. So Karen asks, how long does it take for you to write a book? Do you plan a series or just go from one book to the next? Karen, very good questions, both of them. It takes me, depends on how you define writing the book. I produce a book a year, generally. Sometimes with a novella. Like this year, there will be a novella. Next year, I think there will also be a novella, although it might be a little different from a different kind of novella. But so I guess you could say it takes a year. It probably really only takes 9 months, but I need to think. There's a lot of percolating that goes on. So I'm not actually writing, I'm thinking. And then, of course, there's all the editing that has to be done, and the proofreading, and all the publishing stuff now that I'm publishing my own work. There's a lot of that goes on. So I guess you would say I put out 1 book and a novella a year these days. And my books are generally about 100,000 words long. These are shorter books. This was at my publisher's request. These are only about 80,000 words. So the consultants are on the shorter side. Royal Caleva Gabrielle is way long. That was a pandemic book, so I just kept writing because that's just what I wanted to do. I just wanted to keep writing it. So it's very long. It's 140,000 pages. So it's like no, I can't do math. 1.5 of these. So it's thick. Let's just say that. And so the second half of your question is, do you plan a series or just go from one book to the next? Depends on how you define plan. I am what's called a discovery writer. I do not outline ahead of time. I start with my 2 characters and a couple of conflicts, and then I sort of see what happens, because for me that's the fun of writing the book, is finding out what happens. That said, for instance, when I write the consultants, I had 3 consultants in mind, and I had 3 business owners, heroines in mind. So I knew who the characters were going to be for all 3 books, but I didn't really know what happened in each story until I started writing them, because that's just the way I am. One time I tried outlining a book. I did it, in fact, outlined the whole book, wrote about 3 chapters, got bored and quit. Never finished the book, don't even know where the outline is, don't remember what it was about. That's how bored I got with it. So do I plan? Sorta, kinda, but very big picture planning. For instance, the Royal Caleva series that I'm working on now. So we have Royal Caleva Gabrielle is out. The next book will be Royal Caleva Luis, who's the king. And then the next 2, there will be 2 more for sure. 2 more for sure that I have in mind, because I have the characters in mind. Not going to tell you what they are yet. But there is a novella, as I have mentioned, coming out just for my newsletter subscribers, and it will be free to them, but only to them, in October, called How to Plan a Royal Wedding, and that's with Quinn and Gabrielle again. So you'll get to spend some more time with them. But of course, all the other characters from the first book are in it as well. Well, a lot of the other characters, not all of them. So I know how many novels there are going to be. The novellas kind of come as they will, as I feel inspired. But I'm coming to embrace writing novellas, so there will be more, I promise. I hope that answered your question, Karen. I'm not sure, because I'm not really a planner, so I'm a little vague on the topic. That's just my process. I tried to mess with it, tried to make it more organized, and it doesn't work for me. So I'm not very efficient as a result, probably why I only do 1 book a year. But I do think part of the process of writing is thinking. And if you don't spend enough time thinking, you're not going to write good books. So, okay, I just want to say hi to Becky Rankin. Hi there. Nice to see you here. And Trisha, thank you for saying I look fabulous. That's so kind of you. I really appreciate that, considering, as I said, no makeup except lipstick. I do wear lipstick just because I wear lipstick all the time anyway. Nothing fancy, though. And Marianne Fox asked me, when is your next book due out, and how many books are there in the new series? So the next book will be Royal Kaleva Luis, and right now I think it's coming out in June of next year. That's my goal. I don't think it'll be any earlier than that at any rate. I wish I could do it faster, but as I was explaining in answer to Karen's question, I need to think. And there's a lot of also book production to do when you are self-publishing. I don't just hand it over to my publisher anymore and let them take it away. I have to supervise it all myself, which I enjoy, but it takes time. And then how many books are there in the new series? There will be at least 4 full-length novels. I'm leaving it open-ended. Maybe I'll do more. Who knows? Depends on how much you guys like the series and how much I'm still liking the series. But there's already 1 novella that's going to be out in October, as I mentioned, and there will be more, I'm sure. So that will be, you'll get, extra, like every 6 months you'll get a filler there. You'll get something. And I just want to say thank you to Karen and Marianne for asking me the questions. I really appreciate that. It's great to have questions because then I have more to talk about. And finally, let's talk about what's going on now. How to Plan a Royal Wedding. The novella is formatted, all ready to be uploaded to BookFunnel, and then in October, it will be available to my subscribers. All of you great newsletter subscribers. If you don't subscribe, or if you're not sure if you subscribe, do it again, because don't worry, my service weeds out any duplicates. You won't get like 5 of my newsletters all at the same time, unless you have 5 different email addresses, of course. That's a whole different issue. Speaking of email, I switched email providers, service providers, as of this month. So this will be the first month that I'm using my new one, which is called MailerLite. Not that that makes any difference to you. It shouldn't really matter. But I do need everybody to open the emails and click on at least one link in them. And I'll give you lots of links to click on, because that shows my new provider that I have engaged subscribers, and it makes better deliverability, so it won't end up in everybody's spam folders and all that kind of nonsense. So I will be asking you to click. Please click. Please click. That really helps a lot. It's always great if you click, but particularly this upcoming one. And what else? Oh, I did want to say with the novella, you really need to read Royal Kaleva Gabrielle first, because the novella contains significant spoilers. You like the bad guy. You find out who the bad guy is, right? So I do say that it's right on the cover. It says spoiler alert. It's on the title page. There's another warning before you turn the next page, but not everybody reads those. So I'm just saying again, don't ruin it for yourself. Okay. Yes, and as far as writing stuff goes, I'm moving right along with Louisa's book now. I got all my editing, my revising done of the early pages, and I'm back to adding new stuff, which is really fun. I am really enjoying this book. It's nice to write mature characters, because I'm a mature character, obviously. I've always wanted to do it. This is the first time I've had the opportunity, and it's also really interesting and challenging to write a king, from his point of view. I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of an unusual position in the world. There aren't very many of them, and it's really challenging and fun to try to put myself into his mindset. And also, I mean, he's a wonderful human being, of course, but he's a king, so there's a touch of arrogance there. There has to be, and I have to temper that, obviously, with sympathetic traits, shall we say. But I'm just having a blast. I'll be honest. I'm really just having a blast with this book. And what else? I think that's it for what I have to say. Oh, I know the thing I forgot to say about the Money Man. So on all my former books, previous books. I didn't do it for Royal Caleva Gabrielle for some reason. I have Pinterest boards. If you go to my website and go to the book page, like for the Money Man, you can click on view the Pinterest board. I think it's a little button, and it shows you the pictures that I used as inspirations while I was writing the books. And I went back and looked at the Money Man because I was curious myself, and it turns out that Ryan Reynolds was my inspiration for Derek Killian, which once I saw it, I remembered, but I just thought that was kind of fun because I like Ryan Reynolds. He's also so funny. I mean, I get a kick out of his sense of humor. And the other thing that's kind of fun on the Pinterest board, well, you see pictures of Alice's cats and of Alice. My inspirations for Alice, of course. And there's also some sort of fun jokes, bookkeeping jokes, because she's a bookkeeper. And there was a fun fact that I had forgotten. Did you know that bookkeeper is the only unhyphenated word in the English language where there are 3 consecutive double letters? So it's BOOKKEEPER. 3 consecutive double letters. Isn't that fun? I mean, it's completely useless information, but I just love stuff like that. So I found that looking at my Pinterest board again. So go check out the Pinterest boards. They're fun. I enjoy going back and looking at them. And of course, on the Money Man, there are also a lot of pictures of, Regency costumes because the Regency romance plays a role in the book, and particularly in the epilogue. So check out the epilogue. And yep, that's all I got. Nobody has any questions for me? I don't see any questions. I'm going to try one more message, see if anything happens. Nope, that seems to be it. So sorry about the technical glitch on the first go round of this. So much fun to see you guys here. Don't forget to write coaster in the comments if you're interested in winning these. These are really nice coasters, by the way. I have a set of them in my house that I use all the time. Shiny corkboard back, really nice. I should do these for more of my books because I kind of like having them around myself. All right, well, thanks so much for coming. So good to see you, and I will see you next Wednesday at 2 o'clock, right? I will be here next Wednesday. Yes, next Wednesday I will be here at 2 o'clock for another Writer Unedited. Thanks for stopping by. I really love seeing you.